a random rant on a Friday. Where do we go from here? This is where we turn it over to Q&A. I don't have any brave ones yet today. I don't think that have their cameras on, but if any of you guys do decide to get brave and turn your cameras on, if you raise your hands, you know, the old school hand raise, the real world hand raise, I'll see your hand raised. I'll know you have a question and I can unmute you. For everybody else, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom bar here, you know, there's a reactions button. Do you see that? And if you click the reactions button, it's like this little smiley face with a plus. If you click that, there's this way you can raise your hand digitally speaking. And if you raise your hand digitally speaking, it's like, hey, okay, I know this person has a question. I can unmute them. If you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on, okay? I hate being on video. I totally understand that. So you can ask just via audio. If you're so inclined, you can just throw your question in the chat. I'd love to deal with that as well. And if you are one of the ones that's watching on the socials, I see your comments too. I don't know why that's not going all the way down. I got to fix that. Where is that? This is what happens when you have small children. They come in there and they press buttons. So, you know, if you're on the socials, hi, Kim, I can see your comments too. So there we go. That's what we've got. I'm going to go ahead and start right in with Richard. Go ahead, Richard. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
It was a very interesting presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed it. So I've been doing pictures with my Canon Mark IV and so on for many, many years.
Okay.
And I've never marketed them.
Okay.
I have a whole number of collections of mostly travel type of photographs. But I don't even know who do I go first to start selling. If I want to market it, who do I go to? Do magazine? I go to National Geographic, or where do I go?
Oh, it's such a good question. And what of your collections are people going to actually want? Is one collection bigger and better than the other? Is one going to sell better than the other? Should you go all in on one and ignore the other ones? Also good questions, right, Richard?
I have about 50 collections.
Exactly. And you'll never know which one is going to be the one that's really going to sell the best until you get started with your marketing, right? And so early on, you don't know what you don't know. And you know what the crazy thing is? No one else can tell you either, okay? No one else can tell you. The only people that can tell you is actually the market. That's number one, okay? And that means you have to market the work. You put up a number of different collections. I mean, when you're just getting started like you do this. Okay. I think this collection, this collection, this collection, this collection are my best. These are my best-selling images. I'm going to throw all of them up, and I'm going to start marketing because you don't know. You won't know until you start marketing. That's number one. Number two, you're a part of the brand as much as the work is, right? So how you took the photos, where you were, where you're from originally, why you had that accent. Where are you from originally, by the way?
I'm from Poland.
You're from Poland. Okay.
But so, no, I have I use this site called Pick Fair.
Yep.
I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I mean, all the rest of them are the same. It doesn't matter. You don't have a website.
Photo is described what camera, what time, where it was taken, and location, and so on.
And it's not doing anything for you, is it?
No.
No. You want to know why? You want to know why it's not doing anything for you? Because you don't have a website problem, Richard. You have a marketing problem.
Yes, I agree with you.
I know. I've been doing this a long time. I know. I don't even have to ask you, right? Like,
how do I make a first step?
Yeah. So first step, obviously we can help you. I recommend you get a demo and check out our solution. But let's say you realize that, like, you know, these guys might not be for me. So what do you need to do? You need to have a website. Sounds like you already have one. You need to get a Facebook page. You need to get an Instagram page. You need to start capturing emails on your website. You need to start posting regularly to the Facebook page, to the Instagram account. You need to consistently feed those social profiles. You need to start having sales when the time is right. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, end of the year, Christmas, you know, Earth Day, whatever, you know, Polish Independence Day. If you've got a bunch of beautiful, you know, I'm serious. And you need to do that consistently for a year.
Yeah. Okay, I know, I agree with you. I kind of thought the same way, but I just have to figure out where do I make my first step, and who do I go to?
Yep. I mean, we would be here. Here's what I would say. Here's what I would say, and you're gonna have to just take me at my word that I'm not like a sales pitch kind of a guy. Okay, I'm not. I would say we are a great fit for you and that you should sign up because this is exactly what we're good at. And we'll give you the roadmap and we'll get you started and we'll make sure that you have all the wind in your sails and all that jazz. But the reason I can't say that 100% is because you can't have the marketing problem until you have fix the demand problem, meaning you need to figure out, Richard, whether or not the images you have will sell to strangers, okay? And the way that I say it is early on, we have to figure out if we have a product that the market wants. Well, how do we figure out a product the market wants? We get strangers to buy it, people that are not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends, because they'll buy anything, right? So once you determine that you do indeed have a product the marketing wants, then you no longer have an art validation problem. Then you have a marketing problem, right? And, you know, I always give this analogy, and I think it's a really good one. Let's say you and I are both cooks, and we've always wanted to be chefs, and we've always wanted to have our own restaurant, right? And I overthink things, and you don't, right? And this is exactly your situation, so listen to this part. I start writing a business plan, okay? And I spend 3 months on that or 2 months on that. And then I take the business plan down to the bank. And then I work with the bank and I get a loan. And then I go and rent some retail space for the restaurant. And then I go and rent all the restaurant equipment. And then I hire a maitre d' and I rent all the tables and set everything up and make the menu and everything else. And then I open the doors and people start coming in to eat. And you know what I just found out? My restaurant's failing because I suck at cooking. They don't want what they don't want what I made, right? But how long did that take me and how much money, Richard? That took a year. Do you know what you did? You went to Costco and you got one of those little rolling carts and you made your food first day, put it on that rolling cart and rolled it right into an office building and started selling your food in the lobby. And maybe you brought your burgers in and no one wanted your burgers. Like, you know, 2 or 3 people ordered them and they're like, yeah, it was okay, thank you. And you go, crap, my burgers aren't going to work. And so you know what you did the next day? The next day you put your tacos on there and then you rolled that into a different office building. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, the line was around the corner. Well, in 48 hours, you figured out you've got a product that the market wants, right? And what did I do? I wasted a year. Do you know what the year wasted is? Buying a website, uploading all your stuff to the website, marketing for a year on Facebook and Instagram, right? So I don't want you doing all those things until you figure out you have a product the market wants.
Yeah. It's not an easy problem to solve, but I need to find a way to do that.
Yes. Yes. I recommend a local show or fair. Go through your collection, pick your 20 best images, get them all printed out, and go and get a booth somewhere and talk to strangers and see if it sells. If it sells, you're in business. If it doesn't, then, you know, you've got another problem.
It's a key what you just said, because I was looking at online. I need to print the images and show it physically.
Yes, you do.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, and this is another huge problem that a whole bunch of you guys have on the call, and I'm going to use a prop to illustrate it. Richard is not selling 2D images, okay? Carrie is not selling 2D images. And what do you guys post all day long on Facebook and Instagram? If I go to your profile right now, am I going to scroll through and see 2D image after 2D image after 2D image? I can't put 2D images on my wall. This is something I can put on my wall. It's real, right? It's got a hanger on it. It's shiny. You might even have signed it. This is something that I can covet. This is something that I can lust after. This is something that's not making me think because it's a physical product. What do you guys do? You assume you assume that your users are smart enough and have these powers of visualization like you do, where they can just magically project your image on a wall and say, "Guy, I really want that." Do you have any idea how difficult that is to do for non-artistic creative people?
Yes.
It doesn't work. They need to see the product. And so when you get into the booth with the product, they can pick these things up and they're like, wow, this is real, right? It's amazing. So it's huge. Guy, it's so important. It is so important. So anyway, that's what I got.
Thank you very much. It was very, very informative and helpful. Thank you.
That is my pleasure, Richard. That is my pleasure. Okay. All right. Carrie, you're up next. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi.
Hi.
I was in your workshop.
I remember. You know what else I wanted to ask you too? So, and you guys will appreciate this, okay? Because one of the things that I pride myself on as a marketer more than anything else is I eat my own dog food. Okay. Meaning I practice what I preach. Okay. Meaning if I go and tell my customers to do something because it's a highly effective marketing technique, I'm not doing that because I read it somewhere else. I'm doing that because I myself am doing it. Members of my team are doing it. So one of the things that we constantly do as a marketing team is we recommend to our customers to do the things that don't scale. Okay. And what that means when I say do the things that don't scale, do the things that you couldn't do if you had to do it 1,000 times a day. Okay. If you had to do it 1,000 times a day. A perfect example is like if every single solitary person that signed up for your email list got a personalized email from you, right? You couldn't do that 1,000 times a day. You wouldn't get anything done, right? And so it's probably the most effective thing you can do. The things that don't scale. That's just like a truth in business. So it's like, why do I say get into a Zoom call with every single solitary prospective buyer that looks qualified? Most effective thing you can do. Could you do that 50 times a day? No, you couldn't still. So one of the things that we do is when people request demos or fill out a form, unsolicited, we go to their websites, we look at their social media, we record a video on what they need to do, and then we send it to them. Okay? You got one of those, didn't you?
I did.
And now
I loved it.
Yeah. What did you think when you got that? Were you like, ooh, wow, look, this company is amazing. I can't believe they did something like that. Like, what was your perspective? I'm curious.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow, that's my website they're looking at. And it was pretty cool to see it in a video and to get the feedback from somebody.
Yeah.
It was good.
Now, TBD, well, I'm not going to go into the other TBD part about it, but how can I help you today, Carrie, is the question.
Well, I enjoy all the information that I've
Good.
received from you guys, and I'm actually ready to do a one-on-one demo.
Mm-hmm.
I had a slot reserved yesterday,
mm-hmm.
and I wasn't able to make it because of my 9-to-5 job.
Yep.
My boss threw a bunch of work on me at the last minute, so I wasn't able to do that. So I was just wondering who I need to talk to move forward because I'm ready to jump in.
Yep. We'll find out, and I will have somebody. I'll have whoever it is contact you.
Okay. I was in touch with Nate originally, so I don't know if I need to go through the same person or not. But.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of agnostic on the whole thing. The more important thing is that the huge deal expired yesterday, and so if you had that thing
I'm really upset about that.
Well, no, if you had the thing on the books, we'll fight to get it over the line. So
thank you.
Just April, tell Nate to call Carrie, will you? And tell him to honor the deal.
Thank you.
Done.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries. Appreciate you too.
That's all I had today.
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Questions? Others? Yeah, Marie, it looks like I just answered your question, which is good. Yeah, Ron, SEO. Let me tell you what to do about SEO. I can answer the SEO question very, very succinctly. www.donotwasteyourtime.com, because that's what it is. It is a waste of your time. You don't need to spend even a minute on it. That is a burden that I am formally taking off of your plate, Ron. I don't want you to ever talk about it or worry about it ever again. I'm going to unmute you just in case you want to push back on that. So you'll have to unmute yourself if you want to talk, Ron.
Okay, hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I tried doing a site with Wix and tried to go through the SEO list of what you need to do. And, it just seemed like it was nothing. It's like a black hole. Is anybody out there? So,
yeah, it's one of these things that is like so misunderstood, okay, and so utterly, totally, completely opaque that it's very, very difficult for anyone to truly wrap their head around it. And let me just say, we don't need to go into the SEO. What we can do is we can attack the premises that are underpinning all the arguments that arise from SEO. So let's start there. Reason for SEO, why you would want to do SEO, by which I mean search engine optimization, optimizing your website to get traffic from the search engines, namely Google, meaning people want to buy art, want to buy photography, are going to type a bunch of things into the search engine, find you, and buy art from you. Okay, that's the premise of SEO for artists or photographers. And I'm here to tell you that is a bullshit premise. Okay, if 1,000 pieces of art are sold, maybe one, maybe two out of the 1,000, okay, are sold by people that on a whim search Google, deciding that they want a photo of a bridge in Pennsylvania and buy it right there on the spot. because that is not how art and photography sell. Everyone will tell you that's how art and photography sell, and they are lying to you. Okay, they are lying to you. That's the first part of the premise that is fundamental. The second is that by magically just putting in page titles, meta description, and keywords, that Google will magically rank your website, okay, and send you these free people. Essentially, the premise even under that is that fish jump in the boat, okay? Fish do not jump in the boat. They never have. They never will. Aside from that, like, invasive Chinese species that's like taking over our rivers, that one will jump in the boat. It's not the way that it works. If you want to be successful at SEO, okay, it's so much more than just putting in some magical words and keywords and phrases on your website, okay? You actually have to work day in, day out at getting people to link to your website. Not only do you have to work, quotidian, daily work, getting people to link to your website, you have to get those people to link to your website on keywords that will actually turn into buyers, okay? And I could go further and further and further down this rabbit hole. All I'm saying is the SEO party is over. The SEO party sort of existed 20 years ago, 18 years ago. It is long since set sail. It is not making any money for any artists or photographers out there aside from unicorns here or there, lucky, broken clock twice a day. You don't have to worry about it. It is not a viable marketing channel. It's gone. Just take it off.
So
your
what
market.
do you do? How do you do it? I mean,
how do you market, or how do you worry about how do you do SEO?
Well, okay, so you got a website. So how do people find your website if it's not through people searching for you?
Yeah, if it's not through Google searching. So the way that they find your website is just through marketing, period, right? It's not just social here. It's through marketing, period. And what marketing looks like is all year long, you have to learn how to capture emails. There are digital ways to capture emails, and there are in-person retail ways to capture emails. All year long, you need to be emailing those emails. All year long, you need to be posting on the socials regularly. The two constantly pulled, and I can back up with my data, most important platforms to moving visual products is art and is Facebook and Instagram. So you need to be posting regularly on those sites. You need to learn how to omni-channel market. Omni-channel marketing is when you send an email whose messaging dovetails with a social post on Facebook, that dovetails with a social post on Instagram. You need to run sales when it's appropriate. You need to learn all the mechanics of how to run sales when it's appropriate. And you need to be running live art shows, and then you need to be doing that consistently all year long without stopping, okay, which no one does. So that's, in a nutshell, how it works. It's you are going to outbound market to bring people onto your list. You are going to romance those people onto your list, and you're never going to stop. You do that, turns out your business starts growing year over year. Doesn't mean it's easy, though.
Yeah, well, I love creating I'm a photographer, and I love doing that part of the, being an artist.
Yes.
But it's just, I don't like selling, but I like seeing my stuff produced. So it's like,
by the way, that's almost every photographer. That's 90 out of 100 photographers.
I know. So I'm just trying to figure out, do I keep with the website that I got, or do I try to do something else? Because
it's an easy question. That's not the question that you need to answer. The question you need to answer is, do you want to have a hobby or do you want to have a business?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's and even that question, like, there's no right answer to that question, right? Like, I went to school and essentially minored in photography at UCSD, darkroom printing, framing, aperture, like the whole shebang, right? I don't ever want a career out of it. I don't ever want to make any money on it. I enjoy just going and I find it to be relaxing, right? And I work here so I can get anything printed I want at any time. So for me, as a hobby, it's great, and I'm assigned to that fate. That's what all I want it to be. I don't ever want it to change. But if you want it to be a business, and you want it to be a business that grows year over year, you're going to have to grind at it, and that's the only way that businesses grow. Now, can we teach you how to do that? Absolutely. But are you going to have to do the work? Absolutely. Do I think it's a fantastic time to be an artist, better than any other time in the history of mankind? Yeah. The internet has utterly, totally, and completely democratized this world that we live in, and it obliterated the exploitative 50-50 split gallery artist relationship. So I think it's a great time to be able to do it if you do want to do it, but you got to decide, and it's a decision you have to make, right? But you don't have to do SEO, so there's one less thing, Rob.
Well, I've tried that. It doesn't work, so I'm not going to try it again.
Yeah, I know. I could have told you.
Yeah, so
There's so many things. There's so many things that people tell you that are working out there, and that that it's a great idea, and like focus on this, and it just infuriates the hell out of me, because I know it doesn't work, and I have the data that proves it doesn't work, and yet these people are running around saying, "No, this is what's going to do it. That's what's going to do it." And fundamentally underpinning all of those statements that are out there, like take my course, do this, do that, is if there's some sort of shortcut for the hard work. There's not. You have to do the hard work, right? But it is so awesome when you do. It's so amazing what you do, what's possible, like when you start going at it. And I have this we have essentially a private Facebook group, right? And the idea is that we throw all of our customers in the private Facebook group, and one, they help each other out. Two, they ask us marketing questions. And one of the things that we have them do is we have them post their wins, right? Like, one of the things that we like to do is like, hey, post your wins. How'd you win? Whatever it is you do, and what does it look like, right? And I've got this one recently, and I haven't asked permission to read it, so I'm not going to use his name, but let me just quote this. So I spent part of the day taking stock on my year so far prior to Q4. And Q4, just for an FYI, it's what we're in right now, October, November, December, the last 3 months of the year, the most important 3 months of the entire art selling year. Okay, it's not even close. More art traditionally is sold in the fourth quarter than the other three, sometimes combined. So very, very important. So that's what he means when he says Q4. Okay, so I spent part of the day taking stock on my year so far prior to Q4. I'm retired, so my art career is for fun and a second source of income. My goal for the year was a modest $10,000. I passed it yesterday. I've been doing all kinds of things to get my art out there. I'm on social media daily, Facebook and Instagram. I've done fairly well developing my followers. In addition, whenever I get the chance, I talk about being an artist. Also, this is my first season since my 20s of doing outdoor public shows. I decided to start this year doing only small local shows or no-cost events. So he goes on to talk about how he's done a bunch of shows and he's had a bunch of sales. But do you know what I love about this more than anything else? He hasn't actually completely dived in on the marketing yet, and he knows it and he admits it. But one of the things that he also says is like, being retired and doing the other things I really like to do, in addition to my painting and art activities, like visiting my 6 grandkids in 3 states, woodworking, hiking, etc., he's over the moon, right? And so that was his goal, right? That was his goal, his level to achieve, and he's achieving it. And it's not like he's having to work that hard to do it. It's not like he's having to, like, in retirement start grinding 9 to 5. But he is working on his marketing, and he is doing it consistently, and his business is at $10,000 for the year, and he's staring down the barrel of the best 3 months period. And so my guess is if he keeps it up and he stays on the gas, he'll probably be at 22, 23, 24, 25,000 at year one. Okay, 25,000 at year one. You know what he's going to do when January starts? He's going to be pretty energized because that's a great result. And then he's going to work consistently the entire next year. And the business will probably go from 25 to 50 or 60 or 70, maybe 80, maybe 90, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So maybe there's a guy in his retirement that year 3, year 4 is dropping 6 figures of income to the bottom line on a yearly basis. Like, that's a pretty awesome story, right? That's a pretty amazing thing. Contemplate if he would have got started in his 20s or 30s or 40s doing that, right? So I do believe it is the single solitary greatest time in the history of the world, at a macro anyway, to be an artist or a photographer, because of all these things you can do. You can sell direct, you can have print on demand, you can sell internationally, you don't have to leave your house, you can create something out of thin air, essentially. Like, you don't need to go to some like plastic supplier to make you a prototype to sell your product, right? You just have to create it. If you're a painter, you paint it and you photograph it. If you're a photographer, all you do is snap it and retouch it, right? I'm not saying it's easy. I know there's craft in both, but it's just a fantastic time to be an artist, to be a photographer, if you're willing to do the work. But I guess what? No one does the work. No one wants to do the work. Everyone comes up with all these other ideas and excuses for the things that they should be doing, or that I'm going to go work on this, or I'm going to go work on that, right? Or Ron, like, somebody told you that SEO is going to be great, so how much time did you waste on that, right? Like, none of that is going to fix the problem. All of you guys have got to fix the problem. That's what we teach you to do. Let's fix the problem. I feel like I'm down on a Friday. It's really cool. I live in Southern California, and there's like a big air show this weekend, and the Jets are testing and they're like going over my house doing the booms and bangs. I wonder if you guys will be able to hear it. But okay, questions? Any other questions? Can be about anything. Questions on a Friday. Charity, Harry, Jean, Jerome, Judy, Kay Fulton. Anybody? You guys are shy today, which is a-okay because I'm happy to blow the 8, as you guys have already gotten me to do. But I'll sit on for a few more minutes and see if anyone else has any follow-ups. I'd love to answer it. But if you got questions, you can fire them off. No, Kim, I did not see your free shipping sign. I'd like to see it though. You have to send it to me or something. Or did you post it in Small Wins? Post it in Small Wins, and I'll look at it. And I will give it a look. All right. Well, if there's no other question, guys, we'll leave it there. I hope everyone has. Okay. Simon's got one. All right, Simon, you're up. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
I did. And let me know if I pronounce your name. Is it Sima?
Yes.
Awesome.
Simon. So I've shopped on Etsy since 2012.
Okay.
So it's been slow.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of my hobby.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because the time is like that, I want to go further.
Mm-hmm.
So the most problems because of the pandemic, I had two times I had a exhibition,
mm-hmm.
a local exhibition. So it went well. So, but I don't work. I used to work, according to my pace. And actually now it's more problem marketing. I was listening to other people, maybe they ask different questions. I was trying to learn
mm-hmm.
From their side. And what can I do? And I live in Louisiana.
Okay.
We had a hurricane 4 weeks ago. And I tried to take the offer yesterday, but my internet was giving me problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys throw the offer for these coming 3 months or so. And there's so many things in my mind all put together. Marketing and that offer, and how I can be a member, just like you said, join the photographers and artists who have chosen art store friends.
Mm-hmm.
So how can join the group, or how it benefit me? How it's good for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The good news. How many sales did you made on Etsy over all the years? You made like 50 or 75, 100, something like that.
Not much.
Oh, okay.
Not much. Maybe total 5 sales.
Okay.
Since 2012. When other sales, some of my exhibition or so, that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's no exhibitions, nothing. So
I know. COVID sucks. I know. It's super.
So I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good with computers, things.
Yeah, no one is.
I just want to, sit my own cozy place, or create something, or I want to work on my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my main problem. So what can I do?
Yeah.
I registered for the other day, and I received the call from your side, but I couldn't take a call because I was busy with my son and a volunteer in online class.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't take call.
No problem.
So I missed one today too.
Yeah, we'll make sure that they call you back. Don't worry.
Okay. Afternoon is better for me. So I always 2 times I missed the call. It was the morning, 10 to 11. So
yep.
Actually, that's okay.
So you can. We'll say afternoon. In Louisiana is EST, right? It's Eastern Standard Time in Louisiana, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So
April, will you just notate that she likes calls in the afternoon and she's an EST. But we'll get you called. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
So you're going to tell me about the marketing or so, or
Yeah, I mean,
how
I
the
think that the
group
next,
is benefiting.
yeah. Well, the next step when you get the demo, so the demo, when you request a demo, it goes like it's like a customized hour Zoom call with just you and one person. It's a lot more intimate, and they'll like walk into like the finer parts, and it's better than the advice that I can just give on a group call like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
The demo. So when they call you and set that
Okay.
up, that's when they'll explain all of it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I'll do right now, because I think it'll be kind of fun, and I said I would do this for Kim, is hold on, I got to get my screen going. All right, there's my pyramid. So, all right, and so my friend, Snart Storefront's customer Kim. This is a post from our Small Wins group, right? And you can see she's asking me on Facebook. Get my fat head out of the way. Did you see my free shipping sign posted in Small Wins? Tagged you. Gonna do this. Gonna do this live. Oh yeah, I'm gonna answer it live. So okay. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna explain this for the benefit of the group. So one of the cool things that we have on our website software is you can output a QR code for any of your products, a bunch of other things too. I actually don't even know if she's using our QR code on this or not. So Kim's idea is she's doing a show fair situation this weekend, right? And she's going to put this in the booth. And, you remember when I said, you guys, you have to be gathering emails in a digital fashion, and you have to be gathering emails in a retail, in-person, real-world fashion. So this is the real-world example. So she's going to be at a show this weekend in San Diego, I believe. She's going to have this thing hanging on her booth, and maybe she's in her booth talking to somebody, and maybe somebody walks by and they're busy. Well, guess what they can do? They can go right up and scan this code. And, the QR codes are really, really interesting because QR codes is one of these technologies that's been around forever. Okay, it's been around forever, and COVID ushered in its moment, right? Like pre-COVID, did how many of you guys were engaging with QR codes on a regular basis? Not that many of us, right? Post-COVID, how many of you have been to a restaurant recently where you didn't have to scan a QR code, right? Every single solitary restaurant everywhere in multiple countries is now doing it. And I think COVID played a big role here. And I think also the fact that, you don't need an application to scan these things anymore. iPhone and Android cameras just automatically scan, right? It's built right into the camera software. So that's awesome. Anyway, so she's going to put this sign in her booth. People are going to walk by. They're going to scan it. She's going to gather emails. You can see that there's an 8x10 print or choice be drawn each day of the event. My concern, Kim, with this, and there's no concern. I mean, the sign is awesome. But how I want to make it better is I don't want people thinking this is the generic catch-all, right? And so I would probably get like a piece of writable masking tape, and a winner will be drawn each day of the event, and then maybe even just put it underneath all of that, right? Like at the very bottom, and say whatever the event name is, winner announced, and say when it is, right? So they don't feel like it's some generic thing, like literally winner announced today at da-da-da, so it doesn't look generic. But other than that, I love that, and I think that's a great idea, and I can't wait to hear how you do with it. So that's what I got. All right, what else? Any other questions? I saw somebody just joined. They just came in, and we're about to end it, which is sort of sad. But I will send the replay out to everyone. But yeah, if that's it, guys, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I hope you are all gearing up for some serious Q4 marketing because, it's game on time. It is game on time. Q4 is the most important time all year to be marketing your art. And, we used to live in a civilized world. When I was I'm 42 years old. When I was a kid, I remember, and, you'd get together for Thanksgiving as a family. And then the day after Thanksgiving, there would actually be a thing called Black Friday. And people would go shopping for Black Friday, and that would be awesome. And then it was over. And then you kind of just got your Christmas shopping done, and then you got your Christmas shopping done, you had Christmas, and it was over, right? Then, at some point in time, Cyber Monday came along. And all of a sudden, Cyber Monday became this giant online sales day and giant sales day period, right? A holiday invented out of thin cloth. Then, some particular store, brand, or merchant or whatever was like, you know what we're going to do this year? Instead of launching our sale on Black Friday, we're going to launch our sale a week ahead of time, okay? so that we can suck all those dollars out of the ecosystem by being first. And that's what they did. They ran their Black Friday sale a week earlier. The next year, 500 different people ran their Black Friday sales earlier. Now, October starts, which by the way started today, and the sales just start happening. And they're just bing, 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 all the way till Christmas, right? And it's just one blitz of shopping, one blitz of dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. Sale ending today, 40% off, da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, sort of the analogy that I use is like, you ever see the movie Jaws? You know when the detective's in the back of the boat, Jaws, and he's shoveling the blood and guts into the water to try and bring the shark to the surface? That's what everyone is doing. That's what every single solitary company is going to do starting today. They're going to just be shoveling this blood and guts in the water, trying to bring all the consumers to surface. And the blood and guts is every type of sale imaginable. Buy one, get one free, this one, that one. And it's just a nonstop blitz. And all it's meant to do is whip us all up into a frenzy and get our trigger fingers on our credit cards. And guess what? It's effective. It's insanely effective. So who is going to succeed amongst you, amongst the artists and photographers that are on this call right now, this Q4? Do you know what the bar for entry is? Do something, right? Because most of you won't. Do something. Get your art up on a website. Start doing some pre-marketing, and a little bit ahead of Black Friday, have a sale. Even if you just do that, you stand a fantastic chance of winning, okay? A fantastic chance of winning. But, you know, you take it a little bit more seriously, and it'll be even a little bit better than you. But okay, Fulton, I got your question. Go ahead. You'll need to unmute.
Let's see. Can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Great. This is my first exposure to your services or company.
Awesome.
I don't know how I got onto a list. I clicked onto something, so I've been getting emails, but
probably saw a Facebook or Instagram, and also probably you're getting too many emails. We're working on it. Yeah. We're working on it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. I was, so it's good. I just saw the webinar's going on now, so I clicked on it. But I went to school for art umpteen years ago, and now that my kids are more grown up and kind of back in school,
congrats on that, by the way.
What's that? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, my youngest is 11 and oldest is 21 at the time right now, but
awesome.
They are very talented with photography and a few other things. And I'm getting back into taking classes and creating artwork. And I feel like I've always been on one side of the consumer. I'm on the consumer side of the fence. And now I'm looking across the fence and thinking, all these people are creating things all the time. Why not me? Whether it be a product or it be a design or a piece of artwork.
That is how it starts, my dear. I love it. That's how it starts.
So I feel like, I can do that too. But I'm not sure how to jump into it. I just feel I'm trying to encourage my kids to get their things into the DuPage Art League exhibitions, which $10 you can, go in, or free if you're a member. And I'm taking classes there and trying, there's an exhibition here. That's a really cool picture you took at this event. Why don't you try to get it put into a frame and enter it? So we're kind of at that point. And I'm thinking, stock photos. My kids could take some amazing pictures and some better stock photos than I've seen.
Stop. Don't. Not stock photos.
Okay, so that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, like, where are some avenues? I want them to get avenues where they can have some success of getting some things out there. And even myself, I also was looking to frame something and saw this thing online where, you can put in your picture into the frame, come up with the measurements, and they can send you the frame. You can even send them your the electronic version, digital version of your work, and they can even put the print in the frame and send it to you. But I don't even know if the quality's good. How do people do this when they are
I wouldn't, especially because you're just getting started, I wouldn't even monkey around with prints. With frames. Let me show you.
Okay. So I need some wisdom on that, or what to do.
This is a canvas print. Mirrored edges, doesn't need a frame, hangs right on the wall, looks beautiful, amazing, does not need a frame. This is an acrylic print, hangs on the wall, and my green screen makes it look a little weird, just ignore that. Ready to hang, beautiful, does not need a frame. This is a metal print, same thing, beautiful, hangs right on the wall, does not need a frame, right? So, Is that much sexier? And again, you can't. The green screen makes it look a little weird, but is that much better? It's not. You don't need it. What step one? The 80-20 is taken care of when you actually have the physical product in your hand, and so that's what I recommend your kids do: is start getting prints, even small ones, and seeing if they can sell them. I did a rant on this a little bit earlier in the call. I don't know if you saw it, but so important.
Okay. So where do you get those made?
You can get them made with us. You can get them made at your local. You can do them a whole bunch of different places. April will put a link in the chat. If you want to test us out, you can. We don't make any money on this service. It's a way to test our printers. I think it's just What is it, April? Is it asfprints.com, I think? Or you can use your local person to get it done. It's pretty easy. I mean, you could even go to Costco if you wanted to, right? Like with the difference is just, let me put it this way, okay? Is a separate way to say it on this call. And what is your first name, Kay?
Karen,
if I hired you to work for me, okay, and my business just so happened to be selling knives door to door, okay, what would you take door to door with you?
Knives.
You would take the knives. That's amazing. So what you're telling me is you wouldn't take pictures of the knives?
Right, that's correct.
No, I wouldn't either, because that would be pretty damn hard to sell. And yet, what do all artists do? They try to sell pictures. You're not selling pictures. Take the damn knives, right? You got to show up with the damn knives. So your sons get the knives printed out, right? And don't go anywhere without them. That's what I would say.
Okay. So you're saying you're not selling online as much. Get out there with the people and
well, I'm
just
saying like, yeah, that's just an important principle, period.
Right.
But one of the beautiful things about the world that we live in now, especially as an artist, like in you saying like I've got to get out there and make things, right? Is like you guys at the end of the day are your creatives that have a talent with your hands or with a lens, right? And so for me, like the thing that's like awesome that you want to be able to do is like you just want to be able to monetize that talent, right? Like what are the best ways to monetize that talent? Well, yeah, absolutely selling the stuff that goes in the wall is an important way to monetize that talent, but it's not the only way, right? Like what are some of the other ways? Like, you can sell merchandise, and it's very easy to sell merchandise with us. Like you can have it in a gift shop or you can have it in a store, right? Like instantaneously you can be selling hoodies and t-shirts and tank tops and tote bags and throw pillows, and the tote bags are actually really cool. And iPhone cases and mugs and puzzles and calendars and on and on and on, right? Like we just added Christmas ornaments and yoga mats and a bunch of other things. And excuse me. The larger point about that though is, do you know how difficult doing that used to be? Like you used to have to order minimums and you used to have to keep inventory. And now you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do now is just put it up on your website, and if somebody comes and orders it, it gets printed, boxed, shipped, and sent to the customer, and you don't touch anything. That's amazing, right? That's an amazing thing. So,
so that's part of what your company does is you have that accessibility. People can go in. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. I'll have somebody reach out and call you because you just get the tour. It's just like the test drive of the car. Get the tour, and they'll explain all the rest. You could decide. I mean, there's so many different ways you could go about it, right? Like you could even do what I would do. Okay, probably is you could call it the family business and put both of your kids in there and put your stuff all in one thing. Probably what I would do. Okay. Probably what I would do.
That's great.
Straight up. And then just let them start marketing.
Two more things real quick. One is what if we take photographs or if we get scans of the work.
Have your kids
What's the best way to do that?
Have your kids photograph it. April, put the link in the chat, please. And we'll send it to you after the fact. I've got like a detailed guide. All your kids would have to do is just watch it and set it up in the garage and then have them do all of your work.
Okay, because there's a local print shop that I had a piece scanned at, and they printed it out, and the colors were way off. It was not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They put it into a TIFF file, and all these different things, and I don't know what the PPI was, but the other thing is, I'm not sure if it sounds like it might be through there, but there's a friend of ours who's a painter in Panama, Central America, who paints amazing ships going through the canal, and he just has a tough time selling them.
How cool is
that?
And if
what's that?
That was just so romantic to me. Like he's close to the canal and he can just set up his easel right there in the side of the canal. And the ships are in those locks for like long periods of time too, so they're not even moving. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, he'll get photographs and things, and usually works from photographs. But his dad was a pilot that he's retired now, but we lived there for the last 8 years. But
Wow.
I'm just like, Matt, there's got to be a niche where people love boats.
Yeah,
How
there
do
is.
we get you connected with the people that want them? Maybe go to shipping companies and say,
No. He's just got to start marketing. It's actually pretty easy too. Facebook makes that one pretty easy, but he still has to market them. Yes, that is a diehard community. Yes, there's probably a whole bunch that would be really, really fired up about that. I think it's an interesting niche, but he still has a marketing problem, same as anyone else.
Yeah, he has some things on Facebook, but he's if he could just get connected. And I wish that there were some ways to have the people that want it better connected with the people that can provide whatever those things are. But
yeah,
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Karen, what kind of dog is it, just out of curiosity?
Oh, you know what? That's our friend's dog. My sister took a picture of it, but it's huge.
Wow.
I'm not sure the name of it, but it's a massive, big dog.
So it looks awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard Rice. What's up, Richard Rice? You're up next.
Hey, brother. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great. I think that dog is a Samoyed, if I'm not mistaken.
Samoyed. Good call.
So I've been meaning to. I've been seeing you in Facebook for probably 2 years or something, and just being like, "What's that? I don't know what that is." And so finally, I do this sort of like large work with neon, and it's large scale paintings made out of wood and all that. So it's very hard to kind of market to.
Yeah, define large scale. Just give me like a typical size.
So each piece is 5 foot tall, variable dimensions, built out of shaped wood panel with Bondo and neon. So
wow, you got to put a link. You got to put a link in the chat because I want to see it.
Sure.
Do you know what I found? The most damn difficult thing about those big pieces is, dude, it's a very small amount of people that have walls big enough for those pieces.
Right. So those are
hard.
It's
exactly.
Hard. Yeah. So historically, I have sold maybe one of those, and like a canvas here and there. Now cut to which, and I don't market them to collectors, which is kind of paradoxically moronic, but
yes, it is.
Cut to the Pandy. Okay, so the Pandy hit, and I began to do.
That's totally the first time I've heard someone say the Pandy. That makes me laugh.
Right on. I think I stole that from comedian Andrew Santino. But
the Pandy, I love it. So I'm using it.
Right. So the Pandy hit. All of my potential projects were put on indefinite pause and are continued to be on pause. So to not live in a car and to be able to survive and eat peanut butter, I went ahead and started doing small works on paper of people's kids. Okay. So this
necessity is the mother of invention.
Dude, I sold maybe 160 at $200 each, and then I changed the price to $300. So, and they're continuing to word of mouth, but they halt right when the pandemic lifted. Everything halted. So there's that income stream is trickling little to none. So now I'm like, okay, well, art storefronts, this would make sense to kind of market this. Now, here's my question, and the issue I've been meaning to chat to someone about from your team is. It's a commission-based thing. So I have a catalog of these small works, beautiful works of people's kids. They're really emotional. People love them. But when I look at the service, it looks as though these are pre-existing works from which client base can choose from. So in other words, the photographer
and nobody wants to do that, right?
Well, the point is I don't have a catalog of people's strangers' children. So how do I market using this service? What I do, because in other words, I don't want to, I want to separate the sort of larger work from this.
No, you do not. No, you do not.
Wow.
It's So, Richard Rice, parentheses, Pandy Richard Rice, parentheses, you're a part of the brand, Richard, as much as the work is, right? Like straight up. And, attention being the currency of the land. And, being the single solitary biggest problem, period, okay, it's a situation. So you don't want to split it, right? Like, don't worry. You can do both on the same website at the same time. You can do both in the same social account at the same time, right? Now, your business painting the kids is interesting, but that's also largely going to remain a commission-based business, meaning just like, and this is the same thing that we see with pets, right? Like, we have some people that are killing it in the pet niche.
I just sent off a $2,000 border collie yesterday.
Yeah. So there you go. But the point is, whether it's you know, the dogs or the kids, is everybody wants their dog or their kids, but they don't want anyone else's, right? So it's always just going to be a commission. It's not like you're ever going to be selling those things as prints at large volume, right? But that's
never.
But that's okay. That's okay. You know, you can just put them together like that and see how it goes. It's not a problem. And like, look, my guess is you don't want to be doing those damn things forever anyway.
You're speaking my language. Yeah, that's right.
I've told you. I've been doing this a long time. I know.
I want to paint for Kanye one day. You know,
yes,
tomorrow.
Yes, I know you. I know you do. And I'm looking at your works now. You got some cool stuff in here. It's totally unique, I think, with the wood. So
Brad, thank you so much.
But don't underestimate the ability to be able to do like a little bit of both in the short term, right? Like that's totally okay. So we can help you. You should see a demo for sure. Now even with the big the big pieces, and I should probably hold on.
I just linked the kid series as well.
I didn't see the kid series. I don't want to see the kid series, but that's I'm being selfish by not doing show and tell for everyone else.
Oh, right on. Well, hey, thanks for showing.
Oh yeah, I gotta log in. It's always something. It's always something with their freaking Instagram.
Listen, I just got a smartphone in 2018, so I'm just.
Don't be proud of that. Don't be proud of that.
I don't know if I am. It's just the fact. Listen, I was up north for a long time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I got it.
So you know, we had burners. Let's just put it that way.
No, I get it. And you were away at summer camp for a while, and now you've come back to us.
It's legal now, though, so that's why I'm doing arts full time now. So you know.
Yep, you've got an interesting story. Why isn't this loading? It's always something.
I will say this though to everyone in the chat. To be able to have anything that people want to purchase is already an achievement. So just I'm so excited by the potential for a service like this, because pulling teeth to market, just like I heard you say the other day in one of the blogs I was able to catch on like a replay, was artists really hate marketing, and it's not our language, and but you got to dedicate 30-40% of your life to it, otherwise you're going to live in an Acura.
Yeah, you are. There's something that goes wrong with my little screen share here in Instagram, and you saw that I had it up for 2 seconds and then it went away.
Yeah,
this is working.
Well, it looked pretty cool.
It really infuriates me when that happens. So anyway,
okay,
I'm gonna have somebody reach out. Do we have a phone number on you yet?
Yeah, I spoke to someone, and I'm not going to name them, but I'd rather speak to someone else.
Okay. Don't worry, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
It goes that way sometimes for sure.
It was just a little too jargony, and I was like, you're not really hearing me. But anyway,
yeah, I can't handle it. But anyway, so what I wanted to show the rest of you guys is he's got these really cool pieces where he like cuts the wood out, paints the wood, and then he's got the neon lights behind it. So there's like a plug that goes with it, which is awesome, by the way. I mean, I want one of those damn things, but those get a little difficult to turn into prints too, right?
I've never even approached the idea of prints, but I thought about NFTs, and then you know what it is I get too scattered with anything that isn't producing the work itself.
Trust me, I know that too. See that plenty as well.
It's like, honestly, too, I spend 2 or 3 months on a single piece, and that is my whole life revolves around that piece, including all the Maslow's hierarchy, which I become overwhelmed with as well. So it's about pulling the trigger on a marketing service. It's like take my money, but I also need it for the peanut butter. So I just gotta dive in, really. Because quarter forward, man, I'm telling you, I didn't take advantage of it last year, and the bulk of my money came when everybody was on their ass, as it were, and they were looking at their screens, and I was able to market to all of these moms, 100% of which were in Texas, or 97%. Strangers' kids, word of mouth, pandemic lifted, artwork stopped. The commissions, I'm still doing them, but they're like trickle.
Yeah, I know.
But I want to ramp it back up. I'd like to be able to have, I don't want to, in other words, something you mentioned earlier, I don't want to not do the kids and pets. I'd like to always do them. I just thought I would market them separately to the larger works, because it is a different animal, I feel like, but you're saying something else.
It is, and I am saying something else. 100% I am, because it's like, okay, so on your main site, you have 1,200 followers. On the kids site, you have 82 followers, right? If the currency is attention, like where do you That's why you got to just put the whole thing under one roof, right? It's like
I will say this: no one has ever historically pulled the trigger in terms of sending me Venmo via the kid portraits because it's too cryptic. It's like, why does he have 80 followers? And I also have blue check markers follow me on the artist Richard Arthur site. So I'm like vetted. There's one or two famous, people follow me. And I think that sort of checks out with moms that are like, who's this stranger trying to paint my kid? What is going on?
Yeah. You got to be careful there. As long
right.
That's just how you got to couch it, right? Like, okay, let's stay on the kids for a second. Let me put it this way. One account, one Instagram account versus two Instagram accounts. One website versus two websites. Do you have kids? Have you ever had to babysit kids? Would you rather babysit two kids or one kid? You'd rather babysit one kid because it makes things significantly easier. Okay, you don't have to have two sets of eyes. So it's the same. It's the same with websites. It's the same with Instagram accounts. Like, no, 20 years ago, fine, maybe, but now just throw that all under the one house and get going.
Okay. Well, I've never heard anyone put it that way.
Yep.
Ever.
You'll get a lot of that over here.
Well, I don't really talk to anybody in this field in terms of marketing what it is that I do. It's always me gabbing and like an Asperger's person about what I do and how I think it should go. And I think that's most artists. We're just like on our own little planet in outer space trying to figure it all out. And it's like, oh yeah, you got to buy like kale costs $14 now. I got to make money. So
Yep.
Anyways, well, awesome. Well,
we'll have somebody else reach out. Don't worry, we'll get you sorted.
I'm gonna dive in. We're gonna figure it out. And I thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited I got you.
I want you to follow. Hold on, let me pull up the doggone website. This website. I'll be able to. Let me just make sure I have the right address. What is Allison Cantrell's website? April. I know what it is. Hold on. Is it Bunny Pig? I think so. Pig. Pet. Portraits. I want you to sign up for her email list, and I want you to see how this woman executes a sale, which is she's got skills. Right. She wanted to quit the business, by the way, and we had to have like a come to Jesus with her. And it's like she'll have an individual sale doing this, and this is the exact same thing that you're doing with the kids, except it's dogs, right? And she got all bummed out because she really wanted to sell these as prints, but nobody wants side-eye sour. They want their side-eye sour, right? Nobody wants Goosely the Dobie. They want their Goosely the Dobie, right?
Little goblin. Yeah,
but she does. She kills it with these, okay? And she sells more than she can even produce. And do you know what we had? You know what routine we had to convince her of?
Tell me.
Dirty little secret. Damien Hirst. Does anyone know that name? Do you know that name as an artist? And
of course.
One of his most famous series are his dots, right? Like Damien Hirst colored dots.
They're easy drinking, that's for sure.
These things, right? Look at the price on this one. Let's just see. So this one's $20,000, okay, and it's tiny. It's tiny, right? They go for way more than that. Do you want to know what the dirty little secret about Damien Hirst dots are? He did not do a single solitary one of them.
Right.
His understudies do every single solitary one. And this guy is such a genius. Do you know what his line is? He goes, I like the fact that my understudies do it, and I like this concept of a factory to create the pieces. But I don't like the idea of a factory coming up with the idea. That would be wrong. And I came up with the idea. Absolute genius, okay?
Genius.
Absolute genius.
Right.
Guy's selling, and he doesn't make those things anymore because he's just another level, but he's selling like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 pieces that he wasn't even creating. Where was I going with that story? So with Allison, we're like, look, people love these things. Okay, you're having these incredible sales events. You feel like you have to do them all by hand. Get somebody else to do the majority of it by hand, and then you just do the finishing touches. Solved. And so I want you to get on her email list, and I want you to see how she announces it. The way she does. I'm not even going to tell you how she does it. I want you to see how she does it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
She does these like one-off releases, and it's like amazing, and people have to like get in line, and it's a thing, and the whole deal. So, all right, that's it. We got to leave it there, as I'm running out of steam.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks so much for having us, and I'm so glad I got you.
Yeah, it was super fun talking to you. Thanks for coming on and answering the question. Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys. I gotta go. I just realized I'm running late, and appreciate you all. Thanks for coming on to the session. If this is the first time seeing us, no worries. But if you haven't gotten a demo yet, go get a demo. It's awesome. You got to see all the bells and whistles, go for the full test drive, and decide if this is the place that you want to sign up and start doing business. And if not, no worries. Just get a sail in the water this Q4. It's going to be huge.